Hello, my friend, wherever you are. I'm sending you love, the power of positivity, and vitamin D, 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 D. Welcome to the Gazillionaires Club. So, my friend, the continuation of or from the video yesterday. Yes, I know it's a horrible time. Today is June 4th, 14th, and I sold my Bitcoin to pay off all the debt. It's the worst time to sell. It's the worst time to sell. But you know what's worse? Getting liquidated. And like I truly feel that the 20K is the bottom, but why do I sell it? Simply because money we can make, and money is energy, and energy is constantly moving. And the more, well, first of all, it's not, for me, it's not worth it to lose any sleep over money. For me, it's not worth it to be in constant fear of getting liquidated, even though, like 90% of me kind of like this is the bottom, right? But the fact is, like, I can believe what I want, but when I look at the crypto market, there are a lot of fear, there are, and like the macro environment, and I think about like inflation and how most people in America, and even like most people, a lot of people around the world, they live very minimal, meaning that they probably have money or food for a week or 2 weeks at most. And when I started tapping into the mind of those people, I look at myself, I'm like, I'm very fortunate. I don't have much, but goddamn, like most people don't even have for, money for a rainy day. And it's, for me, that is just like, I reflect on my life, and I'm like, I'm pretty fortunate. And then the other part is, the more I listen to the dollar vigilante, Jeff and his team, the more I realize that Bitcoin may be the apex predator, but is not it's a good working piece of technology compared to all the other ones. But I kind of noticed, the Hornet, the Bitcoin Hornet, the only group of people that they don't mess with is probably the privacy people like Monero and stuff. And I think Monero has a much more better technology than Bitcoin. But the fact is, it's not being, it's not being listed on exchange, meaning that I'm looking at my computer, meaning that the liquidity is not, is not there. However, I do believe in the technology of Monero. Don't blame it on me. I'm just a messenger. Now, like when I look at when I look, or actually, I've mentioned this before, but a lot, like I started getting into privacy coin, and and I like it a lot. Like even with I've interacted with a lot with BlockFi over the last 2 years. I like it and all, like safety, yeah. But then at the same time, I feel like it's very similar to traditional banking. Like, they close on the weekend, and, because of for security measures, like when you withdraw your crypto, there's going to be a delay period, usually within a day or two. But at the end of the day, it's like, like if you are on top of, your money, like, the feeling of able to access your money whenever you want, it's amazing. The feeling of like, hey, it's my money, I don't need to let you know how I spend my money. That's really important. Most people assume that, criminals use or don't want to be known. There's only certain truth to it. Some people, a lot of people just want you to leave them alone when it comes to like their money. It's like, you don't go to your friends and start flashing around how much money you have. And if you do, then you're one of those people, you're just kind of like, you're just showing it off, right? Don't be a dumb bitch. If you have money, do something with it. Do something good with it. And no, it's none of anybody's business to know how much money you have. So the more I started, and the reason why I say that, like, I took a loss because like happiness and having a healthy mind for me is everything. I don't care how much money I have, but if I don't have that, and I can't go to sleep at night, that's not me, right? So my risk tolerance when it comes to like having a healthy mind and just, and protect my asset, my risk management, it's very low. And trust me, like I've hung on to Bitcoin. I hung on to Bitcoin for a long time now, like probably, well, I've never sold the initial amount of 2017, which wasn't much. And then in 2020, I started accumulating, a few, and then I held on to it. I've seen the ups and the down. I've never sold like, when it hit like 60K. I probably sold just very, very, very little when it hit like 50, 60K, but I kept on buying and buying. And then I realized that, first of all, if you have money and you have other source or sources of income, go for it, stack in Bitcoin, but make sure you own it outright, okay? Because the crypto space is volatile. We all know that. And if you, like myself, do a collateral loan, meaning that, you have to put up, you have to put up more amount than you can actually borrow. And like I said, if you borrow that money and you find a good place to get your interest off of it and just let it sit there and wait for the market to crash, then it's actually a very good strategy. But most, like with my situation, I ended up having to pay taxes. That really shook me. It's like that was a lot of money, and a lot of, and then I was like, it's like I want to own it outright, because every month when you have the loan, there's money being pulled from you. You got to pay interest, and I've done my part. Let's just put it this way: I've done my part of holding on to Bitcoin, and and I think you should. But I've learned so much about this whole thing that I'm going through, and it's not even about it. It is about the money that I'm losing. I mean, I'm taking a loss, but taking a loss meaning that like I gave all of my gains back. Pretty much, it's just like initial money that I have, and I'm okay with that because I know I can make it back. And what do I mean by I know I can make it back? Well, first of all, I got my I don't have to worry. I don't have anxiety. I'm like, if Bitcoin go to 1,000, great. that's even awesome. And like I said, I'm not holding on to fiat simply because of inflation. Like, I'd rather hold an asset that's finite. I just want to make that clear. I got hoes that woke in different area code. Second, if we do get another leg up, meaning that there's going to be another bull run, which a lot of the YouTube crypto people are doubtful about it, but crypto is crazy. Like even though everyone is the 90% of the people saying that we're in a bear market, who knows? It can just turn around and start a bull market again. Crypto is unpredictable. So at that point, like I'm like, okay, if it goes up, great. If it's not, I'm okay, because during the bear market, that's where all the technologies are being built. And as much as I love Bitcoin, and people keep saying that it is the apex predator, and probably true, because compared to when I look at the ecosystem for Ethereum and all the altcoins, it's great and all, but I want to put my money where my mouth is, meaning that because if I'm able to buy a coin and I hold it, meaning I'm investing in the team that's behind it, right? And Monero is going to be on the list. As of right now, the only I sold my pirate chain, but I'm going to buy it back though, because now I have money to play around with long term, right? No short term, like long term holding. And Monero, pirate chain, Equilibrium, Bitcoin, and I'm at this point, like Ethereum is great and all, but at the same time, okay, fine, I'll just add it to the list. Yes, Ethereum. I just don't like the swapping, Ethereum around, and I think Ethereum is much more complex than it should be. I think Ethereum is like a baby, right? It wants to run, but it doesn't know how to walk yet. So that's what Ethereum to me. Like Monero is kind of like it knows how to crawl, it knows how to walk, and eventually it will run. Bitcoin is kind of like, there's a lot of talk about transaction, the speed of transaction and the block size of the transaction. And I know that, like, with the Bitcoin community, like security is like kind of like the thing for Bitcoin, right? But as far, if I have to compare it with other coins, I don't think Bitcoin is there yet, but the marketing for Bitcoin is definitely there. And as much as we think that Bitcoin is decentralized and privacy, and which is to a certain extent is true, but when we look at all of the chokeholds from exchanges, from institution, and Bitcoin addresses, okay, I know before I said Bitcoin can be blacklisted, but they can only blacklist the address that's holding Bitcoin, which is kind of the same thing. So to me, like Bitcoin, it's actually good if we live in a perfect society where where institutions, government, there's no like globalization of like a group of people thinking that they can control humanity, then Bitcoin is actually a very good thing. But if we shifting out of the old system into the new system, and the same people that are in power, Bitcoin, it's actually a bad thing. Con! But kind of like the stock market, right? When we look at the stock market, some people benefit from it and some people don't. But but when we look at, like, the pension, the 401k, like, when the final showdown happens, a lot of people, like 90% of the people, will lose everything. And it's kind of like, I remember Robert Kiyosaki. He says that when they created the stock market, it's like we know it was fake, but the thing is, people started making money, so they start pouring money into it, and we create this massive bubble. And it's like the hedge fund people, and then just people that are able to push a button on a tray, to stop a company from crashing. And then we know, with all the bailouts and like from central banks or the Fed, that's why I see Bitcoin. That's why I see Bitcoin, because if we don't put our money where and how money should be, is going to be same shit, different toilet. Con, go home, son. Go home. And my friend, the other thing that I want to mention is that I've so I know a lot of, like, Bitcoin people buy and hold, and the reason why they hold is to keep the price. It's kind of like, if it's a store of value, we're not gonna transact Bitcoin on a day-to-day basis. It's supposed to be it's supposed to be a store of value. And I remember back in 2017, when I started learning, and I bought very minimal of crypto, and I even bought at the top of, like, around 17 to 20k. I've mentioned that over and over. But what is the point of having a technology and you don't use it, right? Because the whole point of building this whole crypto space is to use it. When we look at Ethereum, they are doing exactly just that. But the people that are backing Ethereum are the same institutions, that we are trying to run away from. And I realized that, with this whole crypto space, and with this Bitcoin, Ethereum dump, and altcoin dump, nothing is really definite, right? Nothing is definite in a way where there is constant battle going on within the cryptocurrency space. And, is there a safe haven? And I do believe there are some. I mean, for me, definitely Monero is a safe haven. I do still think Bitcoin is a safe haven. And then, as much as, like, like Ethereum is a safe haven, but every time when I think of putting my money, storing my money there and not use it, it means that I'm not helping the crypto space in any way. And then putting money in Ethereum, meaning that, I'm helping the space grow, but then at the same time, you're institutionalized. And then, putting money in Monero is good, but I'm not making a lot of money. So there are pros and cons, but then at the same time, when you expand out into the smaller altcoins, that's where a lot of money are being made, meaning that you don't have to put much, because the market cap is not so big, so people can move it. Like, if a project is approved and it's listed on a big exchange, it means that you can make your money like that, and it's really interesting where we're going to see this space, because as far as I see, a lot of the exchanges, big name exchanges, there are a lot of, there are characters in the space that are that have some history, and and when I look at everything, the overall crypto, I think there are a good percentage of people that are still like, like um, want to see the space grow, want to see the space grow, um, and especially the Bitcoin maximalists, like those are like the really, those are the people that, the Bitcoin maximalists and the privacy people, the Monero people and the privacy people. Those are the people that I look up to, because I understand their point of view and what they're doing. And then as far as like, with this like with Ethereum, I also understand, for artists and the music, I understand what they're doing as well. But then at the same time, you kind of have to look like, okay, what are the pros and what are the cons of all of these, right? And that's my take on it, my friend. Like, it hurts when I sold my Bitcoin, but then it feels good because I don't have to worry about all this shit, like, but the takeaway for this video, my friend, I rather hold on to crypto than fiat any day, okay? And when you buy your crypto, there's Bitcoin and there's crypto. I guess the lesson that I've learned is that don't leverage. Even with me, it was like 35%, very minimal, but it got to the point where I'm just like, I really don't want to deal with it. I want to own it outright. And if I'm in the crypto space, like, money is energy travels. I can always make that money back. If you have not purchased the Bipolar Poet, I advise you to do so, especially if you are a millionaire or a billionaire, for the sake of your sanity. Why Bitcoin? If we understand the properties of money, if not Bitcoin, then what? Like, it's, for me, it's no biggie. And I will be producing more content, my friend. So let me know what you think about Bitcoin, Ethereum, Monero, privacy, oil, and store of value. Let me know what you think. Use the hashtag #GazillionairesClub, and we will get this conversation going, my friend. Cheers.